All righty, it is 8 o'clock Central Time, and it is time for another Dude and a Dog Hiking Live with me, the dude, and Sophie. Say hi, Sophie. I know there's nobody. Oh, there's somebody on right there. Say hi, Sophie. She's saying it. You just can't hear it through the microphone. Sorry. Her voice isn't very loud right now. She's been talking a lot today. It's kind of hoarse and everything. She can't help it. But that's okay. I'll do the talking for us. So we are in our car again because, the internet over at the campsite is pretty poor. So we are currently in Alabama. We drove down to Jasper, Alabama, in order to get a better internet connection here. So that way we can do this live for you guys. So if anybody who is not aware of what these lives are all about, is that Sophie and I, my pup here, we are doing a summer travel. We're hitting like 9 different states or something like that. And at the end of each one of those, we are doing a live to talk about our experiences, the trails we did, anything else that might have happened that might have been interesting. So we still have 5 more lives to go. We have a June 4th one, a June 9th, a June 12th, a June 14th, and a June 17th. I guess I didn't have to say June over and over again there, but you get the point. That's the 4th, 9th, 12th, 14th, and 17th. There's also a promo right up on our YouTube page if you want to check that out. If you need to rewrite those, you need to write those down or anything like that. So, in addition to the lives that we're doing on those days, okay, rewind real quick. There's a chance that we won't be able to do the lives. That will depend on, of course, internet connection, stuff like that. The next place we are going to take off to is Tennessee. In Tennessee, I do know that our campsite does not have electric. We have water, but no electric. So I'm not sure exactly what it's going to look like as far as internet connection goes out at that site, or if there's going to be a location close enough to bother to get internet connection. We'll see what happens. So yeah, in addition to the lives, we're doing shorts that we're putting out. Typically, we're looking at shooting out a couple a day, especially if we've been on the trail. And once again, we have a connection that's actually usable. Also, we have the Facebook updates. So if you aren't a member of our Facebook group, then please join A Dude and a Dog Hiking, the Facebook group, and we'll have updates on there. So that's another way that you can check us out. We're not only going to have the videos there, links to the videos there, but also pictures from various trails that we're on and so forth. Speaking of the trails, so we're in Alabama, and our campsite, we're at the Clear Creek Recreation Area. Now, Clear Creek Recreation Area only has one trail, but it was a really nice trail. At least you should say this, what we saw was really nice on it. So it's the Raven Trail. The one issue that we had with the trail is at one point in time, this trail was really nicely marked. It had beautiful looking markers, wooden markers and everything, but you couldn't read any of the markers that were within the trail. It's supposed to be a loop according to all trails. I'm not sure we hit every single section of the trail. It's supposed to be a 2-mile loop. We did 3.36 miles of this trail, and I'm pretty sure we missed part of it. However, it was gorgeous. So much green out there, so many ferns, moss. I love the sight of moss growing on rocks and down trees and stuff like that. I just think it's so beautiful. So much of that going on. Also there was a number of cliffs that were concaved in, where a lot of moisture would gather, and so you'd have a lot of ferns under there, more moss, rocks, and it was really, really, really cool looking. As a matter of fact, that in general in this area, so we're technically this campsite is in the southern portion of the Bankhead National Forest, and pretty much throughout the Bankhead National Forest, this is a theme that we're seeing. Of course, this green, obviously, and then these kinds of cliffs here. The next location that we took off to, and this was a pretty short hike and everything. This is the Bankhead National Forest Bridge Trail. Now, this is says it's on all trails, it says a 0.5 miles. 0.5 miles, there the abouts, yeah, sounds about right. And it's probably there and back. We put in 3/4 of a mile total with it, and that was to the bridge. I think we wandered a bit, and then we went back. And there's 2 different trails, one that goes under the bridge and the one that comes back up and over the bridge. And that's probably how we did a little bit extra. The bridge is really cool looking. If you see photos online of it, it doesn't look It looks cool, but it doesn't look very big. It's actually pretty high up. So it's actually, it looks more impressive in person than it does in the photos. The photos look like almost you could just walk up to it and pull yourself up on the bridge. But no, not by far. It's probably a good 30 feet up in the air, maybe at least 20, if not maybe 25. It's pretty high up. Really, really cool little trail. It's a paved trail. Literally, you could take a bike on it. Wouldn't recommend because it's only one lane basically. Not very, and it's steep downhill for quite a bit of it. So I wouldn't recommend it, but it's that kind of pavement where you could take a bike on it. The next place that we hit up yesterday. Okay, now I have been trying to pronounce this correctly. I looked up pronunciation guide online, had it tell it to me, and I'm going to still mutilate this name. So for anybody in Alabama, anybody who gets out this way, I apologize in advance. So I went to, this is also in the Bankhead, the William B. Bankhead National Forest. We went to the Sogahogee Falls Trail. Yeah, I know I mutilated that. So this is a pretty cool trail. It's off the beaten path big time. You have to go down a gravel road about 3 miles before you hit this trail. There's a parking spot that maybe comfortably holds 4 cars, and that's about it. And it's on this weird hill that, since I'm just in a car, not in an SUV or anything, kind of scraped the bottom a little bit getting up it. Didn't do any damage to the car that I know of, but it was a little bit nerve-wracking for a moment. The trail itself is almost a straight shot. There's a few little weavings in and out. Beautiful green. All Trails mentions that you fall along the creek right away on the right, and you see a few little waterfalls and everything. That's 100% true, though most of the time the creek's far enough, you really have to stop and find a good position to see what's going on down there. So it's a nice creek, and it's a decent size, but you're not seeing a lot of what's going down there, down in the creek a lot of times. You can hear the waterfalls, the small waterfalls as you approach them, so that's kind of nice, but you're not going to see as much of that. What you do end up following along and seeing a lot of is a rock cliff face to your left as you're going up to the falls. And it has a lot of those convex areas. Is it convex or concave? I'm not thinking right now, but where it goes inward, and it's just really, really cool. There's several areas that it kind of breaks in, and you have large boulders everywhere, many of them covered in moss. So you have all these green rocks there with tiny trickles of water going throughout them. And it's really cool to explore those areas. So lots and lots of really cool areas to explore. So this was, for a trail that was off the beaten path, it was very easy to follow. Very easy to follow. You will not get lost on this path. There is no worry. When I was reading it on the description, I was like, this sounds a little sketchy. I'm not sure if I want to go out to it. It's pretty decently close to where the bridge trail was. So I went ahead and rolled the dice and went for it. You get to you get up to the falls. Now, it's not the biggest falls. I guess if there had been rain more recently, it would have been more, but it still was beautiful there. It's a very large open area. The falls were trickling down and everything into a pool. I'm sure if there was more water, the pool would have been bigger and a little bit more impressive, but we took a lunch there. There's a short video on that, where Sophie, as usual, is getting kind of snappy with me, but it was absolutely beautiful there. I highly recommend checking out this trail. Yeah, it feels sketchy driving down that dirt road for like 3 miles at 20 miles an hour or less sometimes because of the potholes, but it's definitely worth it. And when you're on the trail, the trail is literally better than some of the trails that I've been on that are maintained by some sort of governmental agency or something like that. So much better, actually. Wide, easy to get through. There's a lot of down trees that you got to kind of jump over and everything. A few that you have to crawl under, but and actually right before you get to the trail, there's one huge down tree at this point where you really do have to find a way to get through, and that one's a little bit difficult, but the rest of them you can easily get over. Sophie, we had to negotiate a few times. She's still learning. You need to jump over every tree because she's on the leash with me. So she started learning pretty good to negotiate that. Y'all see that in the long form videos later. But yeah, beautiful trail. Highly recommend it. Lots of rain last night. Lots of rain in the morning and early afternoon today. So we were pretty well trapped in our tent most of the day today. And so we didn't really get to do much. We didn't go on any hiking. We walked the campgrounds a little bit whenever the rains let up. Took a couple of pictures. Those are up on the Facebook. Captured a really beautiful one of a butterfly on there that's blue and black. You got to see it if you haven't seen it yet. It's gorgeous. So we didn't really do a lot today. Watched a lot of YouTube and otherwise just kind of chilled. Read some, slept some. Didn't do a whole lot today. Not that Sophie mind that, because yesterday with all 3 of those trails ended up being just over 9 miles. So she's good with that, with the weather we've had here. The temperature has been beautiful here, especially after coming from Texas, that 95-degree and high humidity that we had at Cooper Lake State Park. The weather's been gorgeous. I've loved it. So it's been nice. Next, we head off to Tennessee. As I said, it's a campsite without power. This will literally be the first time that I've ever been at a campsite without power. Am I going to like it? Am I going to hate it? Well, I know for one thing for sure. It says every day we're there that there's going to be rain. How much rain is going to be the question. And on top of that, if these forecasts change so often and so rapidly, it's supposed to be raining here tomorrow morning. It's supposed to be raining here all day and then tomorrow morning. And I was worried about packing up in the rain, but it looks like we're going to be pretty good in the morning. We're not going to have to worry about that rain in the morning. So yay. Maybe my tent won't be drenched as I'm packing it, which is not a problem because we're unpacking it. Really, more of the thing is everything else being drenched or having to shove things into the car, not in the order that I want it in because I'm trying to rush back and forth in the rain or something like that. But it's not supposed to be, so that's good. Tennessee might be a different case. But then again, we'll get lucky. I don't know. Hope for the best for us. That's all I have to say. You have anything to add, Sophie, before we hit the trails? Where you at, Sophie? Where you at? Oh, there you are. You have anything to add? You just look at me like I'm crazy, aren't you? All right, girl. Say goodnight to everybody. Oh, you sweet. All right. Good night, guys. Sorry for the others of you who weren't able to join us. If you catch us still in the recording, all perfectly fine. Please leave a comment. Good night, Venerable Adventures.